Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Matt Klein of the Preview. Here, we're going to talk a little bit about the Toronto Maple Leafs, taking a look at their recent few games. Today, they beat the New York Islanders on the road. John Tavares returns, scores his 46th goal of the season. They beat the Islanders 2-1 and clinched the playoff berth. They are now sitting third in the Atlantic Division, 46, 26, and 7 on the year. And I want to talk a few things a little bit about where the Maple Leafs are headed. A lot of us are not necessarily paying attention quite yet to the Boston Bruins matchup that they're facing. And this is a very familiar path that Toronto has been on. They've seen Boston quite a bit in the playoffs. They haven't been able to surpass them. And as well as the standings are concerned, they haven't really been able to be the Atlantic Division leaders. And they haven't played poorly enough to end up in the wild card spot to play one of the other top two seeded teams. So, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, what is really disappointing is that they are most likely going to be out in the first round. And their recent struggles have definitely supported this notion, because the Boston Bruins are too good at home, and they're just not bad enough on the road from my vantage point, I see the Maple Leafs not being able to compete with the Boston Bruins in this playoff level. And Toronto's performance against the Ottawa Senators last Saturday was just disgusting. I could not watch that game at all. They lost 5-4 in a shootout to the Flyers a little while before that. And 2 weeks, actually, before they lost 4-2 to the Senators, they lost to the Senators again 6-2. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs were good enough last year without Tavares. And now they're adding John Tavares, who has 87 points and 46 goals already this year. He is an outstanding player. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, working things out, a little bit of confusion earlier on in the year with that Nylander signing, not sure if it's going to work out, changing the lineups a little bit, and I'm just not sure what Mike Babcock is doing right now. Toronto Maple Leafs are 4-4-2 in their last 10. They've been struggling too much. They haven't been able to secure wins. Frederik Andersen has fallen off his horse. He was playing Vezina-level goaltending. And now they've just fallen off. They've managed to barely clinch the playoffs. And I mean barely. Because no one else in their division is challenging them underneath them. And as far as I'm concerned, the Boston Bruins are not going to have any struggle whatsoever in eliminating them. And this is the first year of 7 years with John Tavares and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this is a bad year to begin this off. And I don't know what is going to happen or what is going to change in the offseason. We're going to be looking at Austin Matthews and Mitchell Marner, both having amazing years. But John Tavares, he's just an amazing player, amazing talent that they have. And to squander that is just inexcusable for Toronto. And I'm very much looking forward to the playoff matchup. I have no idea what's going to happen with Columbus or Carolina or Montreal. Most likely they're going to get in. Montreal right now is sitting 1 point out. They have 92. Carolina has 93. Columbus is 94. Pittsburgh has yet to clinch as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who makes it in and what exactly happens. I don't expect Columbus or Carolina to make much of a splash, or Montreal as well, especially if Montreal is paired up with Washington in the first round, or even Tampa Bay. But other than that, I think that there's a lot to look forward to for sure this upcoming postseason. And we just can't hold our breath, perhaps, with these Toronto Maple Leafs. We just don't know. They surprise us sometimes, but just not enough. And consistently and recently, it has just not been showing for them.